Hi, I'm Shane Ryan and I'd like to introduce you to my very special guest, Cat Dixon, who is working as a research fellow for the Data Poverty Lab, a collaboration between Good Things Foundation and Nominet. Cat is also the Director of Partnerships at Catch22, which is one of our partners alongside Global Fund for Children on our Spark Fund, which is one of our digital initiatives that gives youth-led and youth-focused projects a participatory voice. Cat, it's amazing to see you. So, data poverty is definitely one of the issues that we want to challenge here and deal with here at the Foundation. Can you tell us more about the work you've been doing and what you're researching?
Sure. So I'm one of the fellows at the Data Poverty Lab, which is a collaboration between Good Things Foundation, who are a national digital inclusion charity, and Nominet, who are the UK domain registry and a public benefit organisation. And I'm one of three fellows. One is looking at the internet as a human right and a utility. The other is looking at language. And then the third one, which I'm working on, is about how to scale initiatives which tackle data poverty, either regionally or nationally.
Can you tell us some of what you've discovered so far?
Yeah, so I think some of the most interesting insights I found is the breadth of the challenge. So data poverty is part of broader social inequality, and it affects a lot of the people that are suffering from poverty more generally. So people who can't afford the internet that they've got, either at home, their broadband or their mobile contract. So it also affects people geographically. So people who are okay with their income, but actually they don't have the coverage that they need, or if they do have coverage, it's not at the speeds that they really need to do what they need to do on the internet. And I think that's been one of the most interesting findings so far.
So based on that, have there been things within this study that you feel have either surprised you or have been major opportunities, things you can nurture and utilize in the future?
So I've been looking at a wide range of interventions and initiatives across the country, and some of the things that have really surprised me is how much is already out there but is underutilised. So we have things like SIM card distribution from the National Data Bank, but that really is determined not on how widely the SIMs are distributed, but how confident the frontline workers feel helping people access a SIM card into their mobile phone. Likewise, the UK has social tariffs, so anyone on a benefit in the UK who's claiming universal credit or another form of benefit can access a social tariff, so a reduced internet fee, and it's usually about £15 or £20 for home broadband. But lots of people don't claim it. Only about 1.2% of people on universal credit at the moment are actually on a social tariff. And that means that people aren't benefiting from the existing schemes in place. So I think there's huge opportunity to raise awareness amongst the public and help both the people who would benefit from this and also frontline workers learn more about the opportunities to tackle data poverty directly.
So how do you feel these social challenges fit into the future of the internet?
It's a great question. Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things has been asking that really big question of what will the internet look like in 10 or 20 or 30 years' time? And there's so much opportunity there. You know, if we think about what will care homes look like in the future, will we have alarms that help people take their medication? Will we have monitoring systems which help them stay healthy? And that can only happen if we have good infrastructure in the UK. And actually the UK has pretty amazing infrastructure. We've had a lot of healthy competition and investment over the last few years, and we are getting really good coverage. I think in the future we will have really strong fibre connections, which are like a 100-year investment. They will last for a long time. But that's not always distributed evenly. A lot of gentrified areas get better connection quicker, and a lot of socially deprived areas aren't getting that connection, particularly ones in rural areas like the Highlands or Cornwall, who aren't doing so well with that because of the expense of reaching those organisations or those people. And what we're seeing are community-led organisations and movements that are tackling that from the communities up. And I think that's a real opportunity as well to scale some of this work, to help empower those communities to get the access they need.
So what do you think for us, what are our responsibilities moving this forward as digital citizens ourselves? And what do you hope in a longer term, I see you thinking about that one now, but in a longer term, what do you hope your work will do? What do you hope to gain from it in the longer term?
So I think data poverty is like any other kind of poverty, like fuel poverty or food poverty or period poverty. we're essentially talking about poverty at large, and that's a much broader systemic problem. Internet access and data poverty is really interesting because it is essentially a utility. We need the internet for so many things. We need it to talk to our GP, we need it to navigate when we're driving, we need it to talk to our friends and family and sometimes to work. And there's a big, much larger conversation about the ecosystem of the citizen, of industry, and of government and regulation. And I think what we need to do is find a way to make those ecosystem elements work better together. I think actually that ecosystem has brought really good access to the UK so far. We have comparatively cheap internet compared to Europe and other parts of the world, and we have comparatively good coverage, but it's not serving everyone. That's the problem we're facing now. And I think we need to shift that ecosystem so that it starts to serve the people who are being left behind by this shift in technology. And actually what we need to do is look to the future and make sure that we're building things like 5G mesh networks and full fibre connections in a way that takes everyone with us.
Kat, thank you again. Thank you for those of you that have been watching. If you'd like to know more about the Foundation, please follow us on our social media channels or visit the website. The links are on the screen. Have an amazing day. Take care. Bye.